life. Autism or no autism, any kid would remember that.
Grayson intends to press charges. The individuals involved are no longer employed with the district. And Eastern Kentucky University is releasing detailed information about President Trump's upcoming rally at Alumni Coliseum in Richmond. Doors will open for the event Saturday at 4 p.m., but having a ticket does not guarantee entry. I'm Jaleesa Chapman.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
Kentuckians can continue to use state driver's licenses to board U.S. flights and intermilitary bases, thanks to a one-year extension from the Department of Homeland Security. Here's Kentucky Transportation Cabinet spokeswoman Naitore Jibanu.
Extensions ensure Kentuckians can enjoy continued access to military bases and U.S. flights using their current or new standard license until Real ID enforcement begins October 1, 2020. At that time, a new voluntary travel ID driver's license or another federal form of identification, like a passport, will be needed. A phased rollout of the new credentials will begin in early 2019, and once available in your county, the next time you renew your license, you'll choose the version you prefer, present the required documentation, and the license will be mailed to you.
Jibanu had this final advice for travelers.
With the holiday travel season approaching, remember to check the expiration date of your license before your next flight. Visit drive.ky.gov to learn more.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Sunny today, a high around 50. Nights are very cool. Now, we do have about a 30% chance of rain that will begin mainly in the evening after 5 p.m. Increasing cloudiness, and rain will be likely before 11 o'clock tonight. 70% chance of rain, a low around 41. Sunshine for Saturday, 56 for the high, and Saturday showers mainly after 1 a.m. in the overnight hours. Sunday rain, 90% chance of rain, and a high of 60. Again, today sunshine early, a high of 59, and then a chance for showers as we get into the evening.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Cozy Living Interiors.
Little Caesars Princeton is excited to announce our new online ordering mobile app and our brand new pizza portal. Now you can download our app, order online, and pick up using your email code at the pizza portal. The pizza portal is a new amazing feature that allows you to bypass waiting in line and directly pick up your order from the portal. Put your code in, the door pops open, and there's your order. In, get your food, and quickly back out. When you download our app, bring your phone in, show us, and receive a free bag of crazy bread. And as always, thank you for choosing your locally owned pizza restaurant. Feed the pizza!
Here's a story that may sound familiar. I used to post to several job boards, only to be overwhelmed with tons of the wrong resumes.
And because there were so many resumes,
it was tough to separate the great candidates from those who weren't the best fit. I mean, it's not easy to find the right person for
my wineries,
my sports medicine business,
our global PR agencies.
That old process was definitely
not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter. They figured out hiring.
ZipRecruiter did the work for me. Their powerful matching technology scanned thousands of resumes to identify people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job.
And actively invited them to apply.
So I got qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try ZipRecruiter now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
It's time for the DT and Gator Show on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Gator and DT talking football, sports, and life. Here's Gator and DT on WPKY.
Show. You got it right. Yeah, I got it right that time, didn't I? That's right. Put me first. Fall has arrived, D.
It's here, the 12th already. Can you believe
October
that?
12th. The
summer was here 2 days ago.
Sure was. And this cold front's come through and cool things down and feels like good football weather.
Good football weather.
Good football weather. Caldwell County Tigers take on the Fort Campbell Falcons tonight down at Fort Campbell in a key district matchup, which is the last district game of the season. And hopefully, and I feel like very confidently, we'll come away with the win and wrap this district championship up tonight.
Only problem you got is getting in the stadium. You need to tell those people what they got to do and bring and all that to get in.
You know, I don't think it's changed very much.
Probably not.
In the past several years, but to get on base, you better get off at Gate 4, I believe it is. Gate 4, the visitors, and people driving better have their car registration with them, the proof of insurance, and a valid driver's license. And any of the riders over 18 must have a picture ID. Isn't that correct, Bill? Yes, sir. So, you know, allow yourself plenty of time to get through the visitors gate there at Fort Campbell and get on over to Friar Stadium. And it's a beautiful place to play, and should be a pretty nice night, but I think the rain may be coming in. I don't know what time, but hopefully it'll stay away until after the game.
They say between 5 and 11, but the chance for rain kind of goes up in the evening, so you might get football in before.
Well, good. But I didn't know this, Dennis, until I read it in the paper, that we have not lost a district game in 7 years. Isn't that something? Is that right, Coach Barnes? We've not lost a game in 7 years. What an accomplishment that is.
That says something about the head coach. I don't know what, but it says something about it.
It sure does. And, you know, the Caldwell County Tigers take on the Fort Campbell Falcons at 7 p.m., Friar Stadium. And, of course, we thought we were going to have another guest, special guest with us, Tom Rogers, this morning, but who is the voice of the Falcons now, used to be the voice of the Tigers years ago. And he was unable to attend due to a prior obligation over at Hamtown.
He had a country ham obligation, Coach.
Country ham. So we're going to get Tom on here before too long, so we want to hear from him as well.
I don't think Fort Campbell is quite the team they used to be back when we had to play them. I even know when I first started coaching in 1976 at Warren East, we had to play them then, and man, I felt like they won the state about every year. Old Patterson was coaching, and Buddy, he was in big with the general over there, and whenever they lost a player, they got a better one back. And then the next week, I'm telling you, they could do it. It was unreal.
And you know, we used to say years ago, Dennis, that Fort Campbell, you knew when they had a really good football team because we had a Republican president in office, yeah. And he always kept that base, you know, flooded with good players. And you know, of course, we've got a Republican in office now, but
but he'd fire them all now.
I believe what's happened is most of the military has moved off base there at Fort Campbell, and it's kind of
a lot of them go to Christian County,
and some go over to Clarksville. Yeah, you know, so I don't think their numbers are as large as they've been in the past, but they have had some really good football teams over the last several years. Yes. And of course they've fallen on some hard times here recently, but it'll still be a battle. Anytime you go on the road, we're going to have to play our best.
Sure are. They're always good. I mean, even when you get in, when you know when you have to pull up to that and show all that identification to get in, it's not going to be easy, no matter what they got.
Exactly. Got any shout-outs this morning before we get started and start with our guest? Oh, you've got a big weekend planned?
Yes, I do. We have Janie's family is having a family reunion. Part of it's at my place today, and part of it will be out at Breezy Hill tomorrow. The White family, all the Ralph and all the Whites that are in town in Princeton, they're all coming back.
Well, we've got with us here a special guest in studio, Coach Steve Kukahiko, who is the head coach of the Caldwell County Middle School Tigers. And Coach Kukahiko, you've wound down the season here. I think you finished last weekend, and want to congratulate you on a very successful year. Kind of give us a recap.
Well, you know, Coach Gates, you know, over the past several years, we tried to emulate the schedule that Coach Barnes wanted us to do when we play the high school teams, and so we've gone out and tried to schedule some of those teams. In fact, this year we had 10 games scheduled, with one of them being a Wildcat Bowl. that Coach Baker at Tree County had called probably middle of the summer. Want to know if we would be interested in playing that. And of course, there was a couple other teams that he was going to have involved, but they didn't fall through. So we ended up playing last weekend to close our season out in a Wildcat Bowl, just like the high school did Friday night. And we went over there, and we were very fortunate to come away with a victory. And we brought a trophy home with us, and we'll give that to, after fall break, we'll be giving that to Mr. Smiley and the middle school for all that. But our schedule was, you you start out with a Union County, then play a Hopkinsville, Marshall County, and then we went out of around here and got James Madison out of Madisonville back on the schedule. And then we played Trigg, Christian, Graves, Paducah, and Crittenden. So, we pretty much, a lot of times during talking to other coaches, they said, how many games do y'all play? And we tell them 9 to 10 games. They said, we only play 6. And I said, so you just play 6 games? They said, yeah. And I don't know what the reasoning behind that is, but I know we kind of do what Coach Barnes and them do. We start lifting in March, and then we end the first weekend of October. So if you do all the math on that, and of course you throw in spring break and dead period, and a week or two on the front end, we give our kids a month off. But we start lifting in March, and we always go through May, and then we start throwing 7-on-7. We go down to Marshall County and throw 7-on-7 tournament, and then come back July the 16th. We go 4 days a week. And so if there's thank yous and kudos go out there, it's got to be to the parents, because our kids don't drive, and they have to find ways to get them to practice. Exactly. And you all know that. Mm-hmm. And but we were very fortunate this year that our numbers wasn't quite where we wanted to be for various reasons, and so we're trying to get those numbers back up. So we'll have the what we saw Friday night when we graduated. How many seniors, David? 21 seniors. And that's what we're trying to get in the middle school program. We were down this year considerably, but we had somewhere around anywhere from 37 to 40 kids, and then, as you all know that have experienced this in middle school especially, we didn't have the flu bug to hit us, we had the grade bug to hit us. And unfortunately, we lose a lot of kids to do that. And it's nothing against the teachers. We just got some kids that, as Coach Earl would say, knuckleheads, just don't want to do their homework. And but that's on them. We try to tell them, we have meetings at the beginning of the year to let parents know that we're a student athlete first and foremost, and we try to go by those guidelines. And so, but yeah, this season was a great season for us. We always go in, thanking our coaches, Coach Harrelson, Coach Walls, Coach Stevens for being a part of this, a big part of this in several different ways. But we never know what our 7th graders are going to be, and we started something this year that we thought that, and it could be wrong, but we felt like it was a good decision for us. Is some of our kids never played football before, and they're 8th graders, so we dropped them down to what we call a JV team. And the JV team is mostly comprised of our 7th graders, and they got experience. They probably wouldn't have got as much experience if we let them play in the 8th grade game only. So we wanted to do that to allow some of them some PT time, and so it went well for us. We were excited. Unfortunately, as seasons come to an end, but when you start in March and you think, wow, it just seemed like I wasn't here maybe a month ago talking to you all about the beginning of a season. Now it's over with. And so now those young men will be doing other sports or whatever they may do. But our banquet is hopefully be set here in a couple of weeks, and then we'll honor our kids at our banquet and do some more kudos on that. So we did have, and I haven't shared this with Coach Barnes, but Coach Gray and I, we had an open week this year, and we tried to get the Mayfields and McCracken counties on it, but somehow we just couldn't get it scheduled. Well, we've added McCracken County to our schedule next year, so now we've got roughly 10 games and possibly a bowl game, which is 11. So it's a long season, I'm telling you. But from a coach's standpoint and from a kid's standpoint especially, they'd rather play than practice.
Well, I imagine.
And so that's what we're looking at right now is that schedule. And there may be some teams that drop out, but I was looking at it again this morning. We had some games. Paducah was one of the games we didn't play this year because of the weather. The fields was, and so we were asked to stay off the field, so we had to reschedule them. So hopefully, and a lot of the parents hopefully will like this, and I know as a coaching staff we like it. We've got 7 home games next year and 3 away games.
That'll be great.
So, I mean, that's what we got scheduled right now, and hopefully everybody can do that scheduling process. They got to come here, and so we're looking at that as well to get things
Bruce
done.
Farmer might not like it.
He may not like it, but we'll try to get them to help him out. We'll try to get them, pretty quick so we can get most of them in to do it. I know it takes, a lot of people, make, our fields look tremendous, and you mentioned Bruce.
They look great.
Yeah. And they
Willie
do
Brown,
yeah,
he'd be mowing. But one other question here on the McCracken candidate. They just have one middle school?
They have one middle school.
Man,
yes.
one team. Yeah, they've still got 3 middle schools.
Oh, okay.
Heath,
but they all
Reedland,
go
and
together
Monroe.
and play?
And they have to bus them to one location for practice. And, they don't get to start practice until after 4 o'clock.
Right.
And
that's about the time old Morris at Mayfield's going home.
I think they start about 1:30.
Yeah, 1:30 or 1:45. Their stuff hadn't changed.
One question I was going to ask you, Steve, was I know, of course, I'm on the listserv, and I get all these, emails about the middle school playoffs. And I noticed we used to participate in that, and, kind of give us some background of what I noticed. There's like Hopkinsville, Christian County, some of those guys are still playing. And, I know we did several years ago. And what is the basis behind the middle school playoff system?
Unless it's changed in the last several years, at the beginning of the year, you have to declare if you want to play in the state playoffs. And Coach Barnes may a little more than I do. Excuse me. But you have to pay a certain fee to get in it. And then at the end of the year, they base it on your records, where you get to host a game or not host a game. But, a lot of those teams you mentioned, they have various football fields that they can use an extra one. Well, unfortunately, we in Caldwell County only have one football field, and it's got to be shared by a lot of people. And, not to say that, maybe somewhere in line, but we just felt like driving to Lexington the 2 years that we were fortunate enough to go. It's pretty expensive. By the time you get the hotel rooms, the buses, and things like that, it's just it was more than probably. And of course, that first year we went was when Drake Van Hoosier, Elijah Sindelar, and we thought we had a pretty good team until we went up there and played Somerset, and we felt, it was not a very good situation. Then I think it's this group right here that's sitting out here, their 8th grade year. I think we were fortunate enough to go up there again. And there again, when you take middle school kids, 13, 14-year-old kids, you got to have a lot of chaperones for various reasons. And but we've had 2 bad experiences. Not to say that we wouldn't do it again, but it's just very expensive for us to do it. And you got to declare at the beginning of the year.
And plus, you got to pay to play, right?
Yeah. And,
I noticed, in the brackets that there wasn't a whole lot of teams.
There's not.
That are participating, and I assume they have state champions.
They do.
Of each of these divisions, and I noticed like 8th grade they have like two or three different divisions, and 7th grade the same way.
Right.
So it's not a real determiner of a state champion.
It's not, and like I said, when you think you have a good team, you want to showcase them around the state. Hey, we want somebody to recognize that Caldwell County, when they get, they're in middle school now. When they get to high school, there'll be a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And it kind of puts, especially in my mind, the years that when I played, when you mention Mayfield, it's just like this come over you like, oh gosh, we got to play Mayfield again this year. My goodness. I mean, we want that to happen here, and it takes those young men sitting out here in the foyer here and coaches like Coach Barnes and his staff to get that done. And so, so.
One thing about that middle school, we hosted a couple years back. We played Owensboro Catholic here. And when you host, you think you get the money, but the money goes to the middle school. We don't get any money when we host, so there's a situation on money that what Steve and I talked about, we're going up to Lexington and what it costs, and then they have this all-star team they pick, and that money goes for those kids to go play all, and we don't ever get him out on All-Star. So to me, it's really not worth the money that it costs to do that. But I don't know, like Corbin and Justin Hacks, they won it last year, and it was a big thing for Corbin High School. But I just don't see it's worth the money.
I also noticed, didn't we have some kids off our middle school team selected to play in the All-Star game here or not?
I don't remember if we did or not. I'm trying to think. They may have been asked, but they didn't choose to play.
Okay. So they have a Kentucky, Tennessee. Don't they have a Kentucky,
Yes.
Tennessee
Yeah.
All-Stars
Right.
for 7th grade and 8th grade?
That's correct. Yes, they do.
And I didn't know how the selection was, done.
I think it's more or less
like that.
politics more than anything. I know there's a couple of guys in Hopkinsville that they really wanted their kids to be on the team, and so they pushed some buttons and finally got their kids on the team. But that's.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And but yeah, I mean, it's good to have local kids, around because, people just don't think that we have these athletes in a small community like we have to go out there and showcases like we got 2 of them or 3 of them playing now on the college level. And so it's good to have those kids to do that. So proud for them anyway.
We have to give a shout out. I think the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest bus just went by with Jack Nicholson hanging out the window. So
I looked like a big-headed guy.
It was Jack Nicholson, yes. Looked just like him.
Coach, I know that your season's ended, but the Little League season is still going on. So does this give you an opportunity to go out and see what you got coming up next year?
It does, and that's a good thing about it. During the course of the season, when our practice gets over with, and of course, as you all know, when football gets in your blood, it's hard to get out until you got maybe grandkids come along or other things. And so I take advantage of it. From my standpoint, I'll go out and I'll just sit around and watch the kids practice, and I'll inquire about what grade those kids are in. Hopefully next year they choose to come and play middle school football. If not, then I've been allowed to go into the school system and talk to those individuals. And, we just want to get more kids out for our program. And sometimes parents don't, at this level, they seem to think, well, why should my kid go out there and practice 5 or 6 months and maybe not participate in some of the games like we think they ought to. And, of course, that's another issue, obviously. But, yeah, I have had the opportunity to go, and I think they play tomorrow night here. I think they play each other.
I believe I saw that.
And that's one thing around here in our leagues. Everybody has gone to one team except Caldwell. But yet, when it comes in the middle school, and I'm sure Coach Barnes, in the high school level, when they split teams up, it brings us together when they come into middle school, because we try to divide where kids get opportunity to play. And these other teams, when they have, I know they told me that Crittenden County's been looking at it for several years, but they got almost 40 kids on a team. Well, you all know, 40 kids are not going to be able to play. I mean, and it's just, I like the way it's going now. I know that parents of some of the kids here probably don't like it because they look at it from the win-loss side of it. And obviously it does matter to kids, whether they win or lose. But hopefully when they start getting into middle school, we make it a little more fun, obviously. And then when they get into the high school level, then the coach and them can take care of them. But yeah, we try to go out and mingle with the kids and let them know that, after when they're 6th graders, that we try to get them to come out from middle school. So it's always been a good thing to do that. So.
Well, we've been a parent, and I know when your kid comes home and what's the matter? I ain't good play today. I'm upset. When your kids are upset, then you're upset.
Right.
And no matter whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. You won't believe them. But I'm going to tell you what, at my age and Gator's age, we've lived this long. We've seen a lot of them come through and never play a minute, but they've hung it out. And their stories, they're in big of the stories as they would have been if they'd have been an all-star.
Yeah.
we sit down and we tell stories about stuff, and I know half of them aren't true, but I agree with them. And that if they're a part of that team and their pictures on that team, they'll remember that the rest of their life.
When you said that, it touched a moment the other day when I was in the locker room with the kids. We went out and did a pregame here before we went to Tree County. And we've always challenged our kids to go have fun and get excited over a play, over somebody to do. Just jump around. Now, some of the kids, especially on the skill side of it, they do some extracurricular stuff that they see on NFL Network. And so we try to cut that out before everybody starts talking bad about us. But we were telling something. I was telling the kids the other day, I wrote on the board. I always leave them a little note. I said, remember your last game you played in middle school. I know it's middle school, I know, but it's the last football game. And Saturday when we was at Tree County, during that whole game, it was just like, if you can, I remember this very, very vividly, that we kicked off to them, and they had a few first downs, and they punted to us. We got the ball. The first snap on offense, the quarterback dropped the ball, picked it up, and ran 65 yards for a touchdown. I mean, it just doesn't happen that way every time. And from that point on, we fed off of that, and we kept getting better. And then, of course, it was an 8th grade game only, and it's always good when you take extra players, especially 7th graders, and they get to play in the 4th quarter. I mean, in an 8th grade game. It's the accolades that I guess that we give those kids that, like you said, Coach Tomic, that stick it out. Stick it out. I mean, so we're sorry that you didn't get to play every play in the 7th grade game, but you got to be a part of something.
Right.
And these young men, it does. And hopefully they'll remember this, and hopefully that will see other people that didn't play football this year will come out next year and just say, we always tell them, just give us a chance. One chance is all we ask. If you never played before, and we've got several kids that ain't even played before, but they're still home with us. And just give us a chance. We're not going to say, well, we're going to be saviors, but we'll give us a chance to do that. So it's been very, very fortunate and been a good year for the middle school this year.
Good deal. We've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed going out watching you play.
Coach, we appreciate you coming in and wrapping this season up for us, and congratulations again on a very successful season with these guys. And we want to encourage those 8th graders. They're going to make a big step next year, going from the top dog in the middle school. And, of course, they're going to be back down at the bottom as 9th graders. And you want to try to – a lot of these guys coming in want to, in the back of their mind, think, well, I may not play my freshman year. I may wait till my side. It's very important, and I know Coach Barnes will say this as well, that stay together and, we need you as freshmen. We need, we always try to have a goal to, keep as many as 12 to 15. Of course, Coach Barnes has 21 that stuck it out. So, you want to try to have as many as you can to advance on throughout their high school years.
Sound good.
Well, we appreciate it. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back on the Gator and DT Show.
It's here now. The all-new 2019 Silverado from Chevrolet with the steely-eyed front end that will surely grab your attention. Space, comfort, and convenience all found in its accommodating interior with built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi makes communicating simple. The new Silverado is mostly steel, unlike Ford, who went with aluminum for better fuel mileage. The Silverado gets you 22 mpg on highway and a stronger truck. The all-new Chevrolet Silverado will still be the most dependable, longest-lasting truck you will ever own. Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91, Princeton.
What does your morning sound like?
Itsy bitsy spider, rock-a-bye baby.
She's finally asleep.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's.
Can I get a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, please?
Here's to making your morning routine a little better with a delicious breakfast from McDonald's.
Hello, this is Dorsey Ridley. My roots in Western Kentucky run deep. It's where I learned the importance of helping your neighbor, whether it's fixing a road or standing with teachers or other workers in the halls of Frankfort. I've always had your interest in mind. Together, we can continue to improve the quality of life for all Kentuckians. I humbly ask for you to vote for for me, Dorsey Ridley, on November the 6th so I can keep fighting for quality education and good jobs. Paid for by Dorsey Ridley for State Senate.
Lock in your price for the winter by taking advantage of Fortner Gas Company's pre-buy and levelized billing programs. The pre-buy contract allows customers to pre-purchase propane based upon previous year's usage at a fixed price per gallon. You can prepay for the gallons you would like to purchase for delivery after October 1st. The level billing option allows you to lock in the price of your propane without making payment for the entire pre-purchase at one time. A fixed price per gallon is contracted for delivery after October 1st and divided into 12 monthly payments and deducted from your checking account or credit card. Fortner Gas Company, Princeton, Cadiz, Murray, and Madisonville.
So here's a story that may sound familiar. I used to post to several job boards only to be overwhelmed with tons of the wrong resumes.
And because there were so many resumes,
It was tough to separate the great candidates from those who weren't the best fit. I mean, it's not easy to find the right person for
my wineries,
my sports medicine business,
our global PR agencies.
that old process was definitely
not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter. They figured out hiring.
ZipRecruiter did the work for me. Their powerful matching technology scanned thousands of resumes to identify people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job.
And actively invited them to apply.
So I got qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try ZipRecruiter now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Back here on the DT and Gator show. I got it right this time, Dennis. We want to thank Steve Kukahiko for coming in and wrapping up the Caldwell County Middle School football season. We've got a calling guest, a very special guest and very good friend of ours. We got the receivers coach from the University of Cincinnati, Joker Phillips, on the line. Welcome to the show, Joker.
Hey, thank you guys. Good to hear from you guys.
Joker's no, unfamiliar name around here. Of course, he has a lot of good ties here in Western Kentucky, and being a long-time assistant football coach and head football coach at the University of Kentucky, and he's moved around quite a bit, and right now he's at the number 25 ranked team in the nation, the Cincinnati Bearcats. They're off to a 6-0 start, and watching ESPN the other night, Joker, they were comparing you guys to one of the best turnaround teams in the nation, going from 2-4 at this point to 6-0.
Yeah, it's been a fun process. Our kids are really believing in the culture we're trying to build here, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're having success. Not only that, we're having a phenomenal year by a quarterback who is from the state of Kentucky, from St. X, and Desmond Ritter, and I think he is a huge part of the turnaround here.
Well, I tell you, I've been able to watch you a couple times on TV. You opened up with the UCLA Bruins out in California in the Rose Bowl, and that was probably one of the best football games that I've seen y'all play in some time.
Yeah, one of the things that this team is it's a gritty team that we have here, and we've outscored our opponents in the second half by a huge number, and that tells you the character of the team that we have. And the UCLA game was a hard-fought game, but we end up pulling it out in the second half.
I was going to mention too. Of course, you're on the road recruiting now. You have an open date this week, and you guys have already become bowl eligible, being 6-0, and I know that your conference is the American Conference, and you've got 3 teams ranked in the top 25, so you still got a lot of work ahead of you. And what about the upcoming games?
Well, we got 6 left, and all 6 of the teams that we have left beat us last year, and a couple of them beat us handily. So it's a huge challenge for us to try to overcome what happened last year. So there's some big tests for us coming up. We just got to take one at a time. We have Temple next week, 2 weeks to prepare for them, and then we get into we got the two other undefeated teams in our conference later on in the year. So we got some time before we prepare before we get ready for Temple, but which was this week. This week gave us a chance to work a lot of the young kids because we're gonna need a lot of depth for these next 6 games, and so we're trying to develop some depth, and get some confidence in some kids, and us get confidence in putting them in the game also. So it's been a good week for us. We're now taking a break. We'll take a break today and tomorrow, then come back Sunday and get after it again, get ready for Temple.
Hey, Joker, DT, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, DT? How's the golf swing, man?
I've had a problem here lately. I was in the hospital about 15 days with a ruptured appendix. I haven't been doing real well, but I'm okay now. My golf game, it's not any good before I went in, but I know it's no good now.
No, hey, you a scramble king, man. I love having you on scramble, man.
Hey, I remember
you and Rolo.
Yeah, Rolo. I saw him yesterday. Hey, I was just going to say, I remember back in the day, I've known you so long, back when you beat us at Warren East, you and Shade Tree were the main men back at the time when you played quarterback. But what I was going to ask you, and I shouldn't do it over the air, but Wes told me yesterday to give you a shout. He's down at, he's 3 miles. His work is 3 miles from when you play UCF. So if you get a chance, then I'm going to see if I can get him in those games down there. If you get him a chance, I can get him and his son in.
Well, my brother's coming in for the game, and I'd already talked to him about getting in touch with Wes.
Okay.
My brother's a big golfer, and I'd already talked to him about getting in touch with Wes and going and playing one of his courses. But, yeah, we'd love to have him in for the game. We need all the red in the stands we can get, especially to get in that game. So
good deal.
We'd love to see him, and hey, yes.
His son is 11 now, almost 12. He's playing middle school football. I don't know how much he's playing, but he's got a uniform anyway.
Well, he's got good genes, that's for fact.
But anyway, I've got your number. I think if I don't, I'll get it from Gator, and I'll text you closer to the time, and I'll give you Wes's if you don't have it, and tell your brother to holler at him. Seriously, he'll take care of him.
That'd be great. That'd be great, man.
Hey, Joker,
we'd love to see him and hear from him.
Hey, did you say that Gut was a good golfer, or you were?
I said my brother was a big. I didn't say he's a good golfer. I said he's a huge golfer. Yeah, but he is good. He plays better than me. That's for sure.
Hey, Joker, one thing I was going to bring up that I just found out, and I didn't know about this, and you can tell some of our listeners that you had a very special surprise here presented to you not too long ago, and a lot of people probably don't remember you playing for the Washington Redskins. And I saw where that Gut had put on Facebook a picture of that Super Bowl ring. Tell us about that.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you got anybody out there saw the 30 for 30 about the strike team that the Redskins had. Well, I happened to be on that team, and 30 years ago, and there was a team of replacement players that a whole team of replacement players. The Redskins was the only one that didn't cross the picket line, or any of the veterans crossed the picket line, and so we had a full team, only team in the NFL that didn't have anybody cross, and I didn't question about crossing, but had spoken to some of the guys. I made the team the year before, and had spoken to some of the guys about me crossing. They said, "Well, what about you?" When the USL folded and USFL folded, and they brought in 3 receivers, and it really cost me a spot then. I was the 3rd receiver on the team the year before, and 3 other guys, 3 really, really good receivers came in and really bumped me out. So I talked to some of the veterans, and they said, "Hey, why not? Well, I mean, why not?" So I ended up going in, playing with them, and we won 3 or 4 games. I'm not sure how many we actually played, and we gave the team back to them. We also played a team, the Giants, that had a lot of veterans across. We played the Cowboys on Monday night, and they had Too Tall Jones and Tony Dorsett and Randy White and Danny White and Everson Wells, all of the guys that crossed, and we beat them. So we gave the team back to the Redskins and had beaten the 3 teams, and also had beaten Philly that in the division also. When we gave the team back, and there was in first place in the division and went on to win the Super Bowl. And if you play 3 games in the NFL, you considered that's considered a season. So you get playoff money and you get anything that happens in the playoff. Well, we did get the playoff money after the strike ended, but we never got a Super Bowl ring. So 30 years later, they do it 30 for 30, and they decided to send us off Super Bowl ring. So, and I never thought much of it. And one of the teammates called me and said, "Did you get yours?" Well, nobody ever contacted me. So I contacted them. They said, "Give us your ring size." Gave them my ring size, and 2 months later, I have a ring in the mail. So I have a Super Bowl ring from 1987. The Redskins beating Denver Broncos.
I guess 30 years is better than never, and I know one of our listeners out there is a big Washington Redskins fan, Will Brown. I bet he'll appreciate it. Next time you're down here, bring that Super Bowl ring, and Will'll probably kiss it for you.
He'll probably steal it. Hey, who was the quarterback, Joker?
Our quarterback is Desmond Ritter. The quarterback in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
In the strike. When I was with the Super Bowl quarterback was Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, I thought that. Yeah.
Right. But we had a quarterback during the strike was Tony Robinson from Tennessee. He played a little bit, and then we had a kid from Louisville. I can't think of his name. That played for us also. So, but Doug was the quarterback in the Super Bowl and set a lot of records in the Super Bowl, and had receiver. Art Monk was obviously there. Art Monk, Ricky Sanders, Gary Clark. So,
John Riggins
years later,
back. John Riggins.
Actually, John Riggins had retired. He had retired that year. He retired the year before. Yes. So, but I did get a chance to line up and play with John Riggins the year that I was with the veterans. So, but yeah, it was a good time, and the ring, all it does to me is just give you the memories. Because you guys have won state championships in high school, and one thing you guys can attest to, that the ring just reminds you of all the memories that you had and all the things that went on throughout that year.
Well, Joker, I know that was a great experience for you, and of course, this is your second stint at Cincinnati, and something else that's got to be very special to you as well. You have a nephew playing for the Bearcats that played at Franklin Simpson, and he was just over here just a short time ago playing against our Caldwell County Tigers. Tell us about Josiah, your nephew.
Yeah, Josiah, I know you guys know him from way back. I know you guys have actually met my sister halfway to bring him to Lexington a few times, so you guys are familiar with him. This is way before he was even out of high school, so he's been around a lot of times, and he took up the game from an early age, from coming to my camps at 3 and 4 years old, and I had a lot of success at Franklin. Had a couple scholarship offers, but elected to come here to walk on, to be closer to me and to be a part of this program here. And it's a joy to watch him every day. I mean, he's grown so much, both mentally and physically, and just to watch him. He hadn't played much. He's played in one game, and it was exciting for me just to watch him play in that game. So, but he's having a great experience, again, gathering memories, and he gets to go to a bowl game in his redshirt freshman year. So I'm excited for him.
Well, Joker, we sure appreciate you taking time out to call in this morning. And, you got a lot of people here in Princeton that really care about you. And I know you got a lot of close friends. And while you're out on that recruiting trail, if you're ever down this way, stop by and say hello to us.
Well, great. I got, again, a lot of memories there in Princeton, playing golf at the Golf Country Club and being in the back of the barn of Dan Hughes's and sleepovers at Rowley's and Hughes, and then just hanging out with you guys. It's been a lot of fun, and at the VFW, can't forget those times. So it's been great memories there in Princeton. So
don't say
a lot of friends, a lot of people. Huh? Don't say too much.
Don't tell everything you know.
Yeah, no. A lot of good memories.
Well, we appreciate you, and I tell you what, we think the world of you, and we want to wish you the best of luck the rest of this season and your future endeavors.
Joker, thanks for taking the time, buddy. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. We've been talking to Joker Phillips, the assistant football coach and wide receivers coach at the Cincinnati Bearcats. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with some Caldwell County seniors. You're listening.
Introducing the all-new 1500 Ram Crew Cab with groundbreaking exterior styling, uncompromising luxury, and safety in numbers. The new Ram has available active-level 4-corner air suspension for the best ride in the truck market. Best-in-class rear legroom, in-floor storage, and the industry-exclusive Ram Box. The pickup bed with built-in toolboxes. When you push the start button and you hear that 5.7 Hemi come to life, you'll know then which truck you'll buy. The all-new Ram. See it now at Trice Hughes in Princeton, your Chrysler Dodge Ram dealer.
What does your morning sound like?
Morning, Al. Next stop, 32nd Street.
Welcome to McDonald's.
Hi, can I get an Egg McMuffin, please?
Here's to making your morning routine a little better with a delicious breakfast from McDonald's.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Sunny today, a high around 59, so very cool. Now, we do have about a 30% chance of rain that will begin mainly in the evening after 5 p.m., increasing cloudiness, and rain will be likely before 11 o'clock tonight. 70% chance of rain, a low around 41. Sunshine for Saturday, 56 for the high, and Saturday showers mainly after 1 a.m. in the overnight hours. Sunday, rain, 90% chance of rain, and a high of 60. Again, today, sunshine early, a high of 59, and then a chance for showers as we get into the evening.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Kentucky Home Realty.
The new GMC Sierra is here in 2019, the most sophisticated luxury truck on the road today. In 2019, they've released the AT4, the ultimate off-road vehicle for off-road enthusiasts and hunters alike. The AT4 comes with a factory-installed 2-inch lift and off-road wheels and tires. In the front of the pack is where the Denali with the 6.2-liter engine, followed by the SLT and SLE trim levels. More refined styling and badging has added a bold appearance to the most sought-after vehicle in the truck market. Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91, Princeton.
What does your morning sound like?
Itsy bitsy spider, rock-a-bye baby.
She's finally asleep.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's.
Can I get a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, please?
Here's to making your morning routine a little better with a delicious breakfast from McDonald's.
Back here at 103.3 FM, the Tiger, DT and Gator. We've been joined now in studio by 5 outstanding seniors from the Caldwell County football team. And, of course, last week was senior night here at Caldwell County as they were honored before the game. And, we want to welcome to the studio, we got Mitchell Harrelson with us. We got Joby Jaggers. We got Gabe East, Dylan Cavanaugh, Caleb Burton. Welcome, guys, to our show.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Glad to have all of you. Caleb's from Trigg, right? I remember. How did you like playing against them the other night?
It was different.
You were here to start with, though, weren't you?
I was here in 8th grade.
That's what I thought.
So it had to be a very special win last week on senior night, going out and beating the Trigg County Wildcats the way we did. The game started out kind of slow again for us, but as time went on, we kind of warmed down there and came out with a pretty good win. So we want to congratulate you on that. And I mentioned earlier in the show that of course, you've been here 4 years now, and we hadn't lost a district game in 7 years. And as you get ready to prepare for your last district game tonight down at Fort Campbell, how you feel about that? Mitchell, we'll start with you.
I think it's pretty special, and it's a testament to our hard work and our time in the weight room in the off season, not losing a district game up to this point. And if we just do what we're supposed to do, I think we can continue that streak tonight. So,
guys, this is just an easy-going show. If we ask you a question and you don't want to answer it, just answer something else, okay? Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. These things here make you a little nervous. They did me at start, and now I just make him nervous. So it's no big deal. Let me ask a question. I'll ask Gabe.
Joby.
I'm going to ask Joby. Get enough questions. I'll ask Gabe one. Does your granddaddy wear you out?
I don't hear him during the games, but I hear after the game that he's pretty loud.
I'm just kidding you. He's a good man. I tell you what, he was a heck of a football player when he played here too. He might tell you that. I don't know. But
And
he
his
was.
daddy was a good
His
football
daddy was a good football player. Sure was. Anyway, I just wanted to hit Gabe with that. I've seen him play baseball. I don't get to talk to him much. What's going on?
All right, Caleb. I think you lead our team in tackles this year, and
where they can hear you.
You've really done a great job at that linebacker position. And of course, you played last year and started last year, and we lost some good linebackers from last year, and we've had some younger ones step in here this year to really help our defense. Tell us about the defense.
I mean, we got a really good defensive lineman, Mitchell, Davis, and Kilgore. They all do real good, helping me read my guards and stuff. And then I got Tate and Russ and Ben. They're all good linebackers. Dylan, Gabe. I mean, we all do good together. I feel like we play good together.
See what our line has come around. Our defensive line. If your linemen don't cover them guys up, then you don't get to make the tackles. That's a good thing about linebackers. You play because of the lineman in front of you. But big old Davis boy's done a good job for a freshman, from what I've seen. Of course, he's just like his daddy. He's big and he's in the way, but that's all right.
We got Joby sitting over here, our quarterback, and Joby, you have once again had an outstanding season throwing the football, and I know that you will give credit where credit's due, and that's the people that protect you up front, and as well as the people catching the ball.
Yes, sir.
Some of those linemen, they throw those lookout blocks every now and then, though, don't they?
Yeah.
Turn around and holler, look out. I know, I've seen that. I played there. I know exactly what to do. But you also have to tell them how good a job they do, and because that's big. Yeah. But anyway, you've done a good job this year. You've run around and thrown the ball when you had to and on the run. And it's hard to see sometimes when they don't open them up for you. I know. I see it out there on the field. But you guys, we were very impressed. Coach Gates and I with you, all of you.
Thank
you. You do a good job. You work hard. You never give up. That's what I like. I mean, I don't like you getting down in the first half, but at least when you come back, you're ready to win. That's what I like about it. So
we got Dylan Cavanaugh over here. Dylan is outstanding on defense for us, and really shored up that secondary. And what have y'all worked on this week, Dylan, to try to get better in the secondary?
Really just pass drops. Like throw a lot of outs, arrows, just a little short gain stuff. So just having to work up on my pass breakups.
I haven't seen any film on them, David. Are they throw much, or do they run, or what? Do they throw a lot?
They throw a lot.
Well, y'all ought to have big nights then. Y'all ought to have fun.
We throw 70% of the time.
70? Ooh, that'd be great. All you got to do is pass rush, and y'all got to sit back and pick them up. That's good.
We know you guys have been on fall break all week, and it's not like that you've taken a week off. And I know you've been out there on the practice field working hard, and it's a good opportunity for some of you guys to heal up. I know we're playing still a district opponent. So what's gone into this week in terms of preparation? That's been different from the previous weeks. Anything?
I don't think we've changed anything. I think we're just trying to get back to our basics this week. We've got time to do it, time to get people healed. So I feel like it's a good time for us to get back to what we're good at and what we're known for. So
good deal. Hey, all you got to do really at practice is do what the man over there tells you, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what you got to do at practice. You got 4 or 5 of them out there. Who's McClung and Waney and who else is coaching now?
Riley.
Riley. That's right. Jeff Riley.
That's right. And you got Jake.
Of course, they got a lot of us.
And Drake. Jake and Drake.
Drakester.
Yeah. But, of course, this week winds us up on our district slate. You have an open date next week as we get ready to prepare for Mayfield. And, of course, we don't want to look ahead, but that's got to be a motivating type of week for you and you got 2 weeks to prepare for them. And before we enter into the playoffs, we got to finish business tonight, of course. I think we're already assured of the district title, aren't we, Coach Barnes? And we're going to be at home. So tell us about, next week and what you plan on getting accomplished there.
Next week, it's a bye week, but that doesn't mean we don't work hard. But we just need to get ready for Mayfield. Last time we beat Mayfield was in 8th grade, and if we want to beat them, we need to work really hard because they're a tough team this year.
Every year.
Yeah.
Back when I was in high school, they were a tough team. I don't know how they do it. I've asked everybody I know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. I really don't. I know they used to have a tire factory down there, and I know they recruited families and they brought them in, but they also well, they are older. That's true. When I graduated in high school, I turned 18 in May and went to Western. I was lucky enough to go, and they signed a fullback from Mayfield, Van Pittman. He turned 20 in October, so we were in the same class, but he was 2 years older than me. So that's a man against a boy, That's the way they did. But anyway, but they never have that many players go to college though. They all play high school and then they don't go anywhere else. So I don't know what the deal is, but
they just
go down there and give them a good game, play hard, and we come out of there with a win. And well, if we hadn't beat Fort Campbell yet, I guess we better leave that one alone.
Well, guys, you got a big game tonight. Of course, every game's a big game, but you from starting the season at 1-2, and you won, 6 straight, and looking for number 7, heading into tonight's game. We want to wish you the best of luck, and I know we'll take a good following down there, and hopefully the rain will stay away. And Coach Barnes, you got any closing comments you would like to make in reference to the game tonight?
These guys that we got here this morning, a big part of our success, and most of them have been with us for 4 years. Caleb came in, he was here as an 8th grader, and we got him back, and it's just a good class of seniors, and we're going to miss them, but we also know we got tonight and the Mayfield game in the playoffs. So us winning the district gives us 2 home games in the playoffs, which gives them a chance to play at home again, and it could be a 3rd game if we can get to the regional final and Tillman wins. And so it's a good group of kids to be around, and to have 21 seniors is big for us at Caldwell County High School, and these guys have been a big part of our success, and I really appreciate the effort they've given us.
Well, first thing I want to do is thank all of you for coming at 8 o'clock in the morning when you didn't have to.
On your day off.
I wouldn't have. I wouldn't. I'd let Coach Barnes answer for me. But anyway, I do appreciate that, and it's been a pleasure to watch all of you play. It really has. We enjoyed it. You all done a good job. You've made Caldwell County proud, and just keep going as long as you can, is all I can tell you, because you'll be old as we are before you know it. I hate to say that, but I know you're thinking, my God, I don't want to live that long, but it happens.
Savor every moment, and every day that goes by, you guys being together. There's 21 of you, and, the road is still a longer road. You got to play them one game at a time, and hopefully we'll continue as long as we can go. And I know you guys are outstanding young men, and we appreciate you taking the time to come in here and talk to us this morning.
Yes, sir. When you get upset when you make a bad play or a bad throw in baseball or whatever, all you got to do at night is when you're laying in that bed and you look up that ceiling, you're thinking, I could have done. If you gave 100%, that's all that matters. All you got to say is, hey, I did the best I could. So don't ever get mad when you make a bad play and make another one. Just make it up. But you all have done a great job in all the sports I've seen you play, and we appreciate it. Caldwell County appreciates it.
We said it last week. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we didn't get off to the best of starts, but we're sure finishing strong, and let's continue on down the road.
Yes, sir.
You played a heck of a schedule, too. Back when we coached,
we didn't.
We had Reedland and, teams like that. Now you've got 3 or 4 schools that go together, and you guys have to play them. You've done a great job.
This is a great tribute to you and the coaching staff, and people here in Caldwell County love you. They love football, and they're going to be behind you 110%. That about wraps us up.
Thanks again for coming.
I think we've gone over a couple minutes here, Bill, but we want to thank all of our guests this morning, especially Steve Kukahiko and Joker Phillips for calling in, and these 5 seniors and Coach Barnes for coming out.
And these 5 seniors were speaking for all the rest of you seniors that didn't get to make it.
That's right. And we love each and every one of you, and best of luck to you tonight and into the playoffs.
Sir, thank you.
That does it.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950.